What is culture? In our discussions of organizations, we often refer to strong cultures and toxic cultures, customer-centric cultures, and innovative cultures. We attribute organizational successes and organizational failures to organizational culture, yet the very definition of what culture is often elusive and fuzzy in our minds. Culture is, in the definition of Professor Edgar Schein, a prominent MIT researcher who has been studying organizational culture for over 5 decades. A set of basic assumptions that define for us what to pay attention to, what things mean, how to react emotionally to what is going on, and what actions to take in various kinds of situations in an organization. So organizational culture, basically put, is how things are done around here, comprising the type of behaviors that get people promoted or fired, what we prioritize when our decisions involve trade-offs in the organization, and the things that we pride ourselves to our colleagues for doing. Organizational culture is also the things that are said and done, despite the fact that sometimes they are not aligned with the organization's mission or goals. As an entrepreneur, it is important for you to know that your startup's culture will be basically based on largely 3 main factors, all of which are rather difficult to observe without some dedication and some self-awareness. Firstly, as a leader of your organization, your own preferences and personality, the way you deal with unpredictability and conflict in your founding team, the behaviors you are comfortable or uncomfortable with displaying, the behaviors and beliefs that you highlight and those that you downplay and you ignore, will set the tone for how the rest of your organization acts and for what newly hired employees are taught to do to succeed in your organization. Secondly, your industry standards or your very own past work experience will define how things are done in your organization. Very often, you will do things not necessarily because you like doing them in a certain way, but because this is the way they are done, based on your prior jobs, on your own culture, on your own expectations, or the expectations of your employees or co-founders based on their prior work experience. And thirdly, your organizational cultures will be affected by the imprint of environmental constraints at the time that you got started. Very much like a young child who learns from their family and from their community what are the things to focus on and which things are not important. Young organizations are affected by the climate they are founded in. Was funding plentiful and encouraging a lot of perks and exploratory research in your organization? Did your organization go through very rough times when it barely survived? Were you celebrated for your idea, or did you have to fight against the wind to succeed when you started? So what is the main takeaway from all this? Very much like a living organism, organizations absorb learnings from their environment and from their leadership about what are the important things to pay attention to and what is the best way to do things at work. Most importantly, they internalize trade-offs that worked while the organization was in its nascent stages, but might be obsolete as your organization is starting to scale up. So while very often these were the right things to do when the organization got off the ground and through some difficult times, they are more often than not out of step, out of sync with the business context or your current strategic priorities. Knowing what your organizational culture is, living that culture and inspiring your organization to follow through, and putting the culture in the service of your strategic goals are all important and often overlooked factors in scale-up success. For more information on how to go about this, check out our video on measuring organizational culture.